while Nigeria must appreciate Buhari for the little he has done and allow him to depart for home in peace, if he allows free, fair, peaceful, and credible elections, we must also tell ourselves that Nigeria deserves better at this point in time than what Buhari is capable of offering. History will note that he has been here. Nigeria now needs a man with better physical and mental soundness, with an active mind and intellect. Let me say again that Nigeria belongs to all Nigerians and exists for the benefit of all Nigerians and non-Nigerians who desire to live or do business in and with Nigeria. The attitude of "it is my turn and I can do what I like" with impunity will not last, because Nigeria is created by God, and it will outlive all evil machinations and designs against the overall interest of Nigeria. Before I conclude, let me assert that the security situation has deteriorated, with kidnapping everywhere and Boko Haram more in action, and nobody should deceive Nigerians about this. This administration has reached the end of its wit, even in handling all security issues, but particularly Boko Haram issue, partly due to misuse of security apparatus and poor equipment, deployment, coordination, and cooperation.
Well, now we've got Ezekiel Etok, who is the DG Nigeria First Project. He's also a governorship candidate. Thank you for coming on this morning. But we also do have Sadiq Fakai, who is the zonal youth leader of Northwest of the APC. He joins us from our studios in Abuja. Gentlemen, thank you for coming on. Let me start with you, Mr. Fakai, concerning the comments made by the former president, which you may, clearly you've come across it several times. What's your impression about those issues he raised there, and for those who take what he says to the bank?
Well, it is okay. The issue raised by the former president Olusegun Obasanjo, some of the points are clear, but he can understand, and what Nigeria need to understand. The government of APC, led by President Muhammadu Buhari, are doing their best. And if you can see, there is a lot of improvement from the directions that the government come when they take power and where we are now. An issue that he raised concerning issue of Boko Haram and the issue of kidnapping everywhere. Believe me, the government of APC, led by President Muhammadu Buhari, are doing their best, and there is a lot of improvement. When you can see the level of insecurity in the Northeast, you can understand that a lot of things has been coming back to their normal positions. So talking about issue of kidnapping, and the security agencies and the government are doing their best, and I can give you assurance that if getting the second mandate of President Muhammadu Buhari, so many things will improve for the benefit of Nigeria.
That sounds like the politician in you talking about that now. But, you know, a lot of things are happening real quick and fast. They're coming alongside your candidate's absence at the debate, and a lot of people not exactly pleased with his absence at the debate. Was it good enough for him to have missed that debate?
You know, what Nigeria needs now is not issue of a president to be present at the debate. If you can understand, there is a media chat that he has held a town hall meeting, I think is with one of the national media broadcasts, which it gives avenue for a lot of Nigerians to ask a lot of questions concerning the country, which I believe the president responded enough. So as this time around, it's no issue of debate that is the problem of the country, but Nigerians know who they want and who can do what they want. And I believe President Muhammadu Buhari is the right person at this particular time for the country. So, yeah.
We'll have Etok here. Let's bring him in and get his views on this one. What do you think of that?
I think there's a certain mental block that we have in this country, and I hope we will take the responsibility of clearing that block. Nigeria has become the poverty capital of the world, and to what extent do we realize that profiling the chief executive has to do with capacity to meet the challenges of the times? I think that it would have been excellent for Mr. President to match up with those who want to get his office. And, you know, people may not quite understand, but I do understand if Mr. Atiku was not there, because you would realize that the first BBC debate in Nigeria started from Akwa Ibom State. And I know how I prepared myself to show the people that I had the capacity to match up with the man whose office I desired. And when I got in there and he was not there, I was actually demoralized. And if you watch the first few sentences I made at the opening, I was not as composed as I would have been, because I'm coming to talk to people whose office I'm not desiring. We're not just discussing issues.
No, with specific reference to
that
debate.
Yeah, with specific reference.
Was it a good idea for the president?
No, it was horrible. It was a good idea for Mr. President.
Our guest in Abuja says that what we need now is not a presidential debate.
No.
And that a forum has actually been done before where the president answered questions from Nigerians.
With you. It was an amazing idea for Mr. Buhari, President Buhari, not to be there, because there is no way in the world he would discuss with Madam Obi or Professor Mohalu or Mr. Durotoye. We know.
So how is that amazing?
It's good for him, because he would have just made the difference
is it
between
about
night
him
and
or
day.
about the country?
That's what I'm saying. For him as an individual, it was amazing. It was good. Anybody that would have advised him to do that would not be doing it in his interest.
You mean he wouldn't have been able to handle the situation?
But no, he wouldn't have been. Quote me. But for the country, it was horrible. It was a shame. It was not okay. It was unacceptable, because you must see yourself as a leader that is accountable to the people. You must have the capacity to take the heat in the kitchen, or you step aside for others. I have a lot of respect for Mr. President, but
are you aware that the president,
yes,
before this debate, had a media chat and answered questions about Nigeria?
You in the media, look, how honest can we be with ourselves? We know that media chat, all over 90% of the social media comments were not positive. We know that.
Let's bring in Mr. Fakai on that. Mr. Fakai, did you hear what he says? That, look, the reason why he thinks it was even good for him not to overturn it, because he would not have been able to match up with the other contestants at the day.
Hello?
Go
Hello?
ahead.
Yeah. It's not that he cannot be able to match them. I think no, among all contestants that are contesting, you can be fair to the country that at this particular time, nobody can match President Muhammadu Buhari. And I said earlier, what we need now is not the presidential debate. What we need now is Nigerians to know, to assess who can give them what they want at this material time. The only person that can do that is President Muhammadu Buhari. And you know, President Muhammadu Buhari used to say that politics will not allow the country work to suffer, you understand? And it's the president that has a lot of engagement, you understand? So the area of debate, I think when last week, if you can remember, last week President gave an avenue for a town hall meeting whereby he addressed a lot of issues that are concerning this country that are even more than having, and the good thing is that when this thing is about taking place, even the presidential candidate of the other party, most of them are not even on the ground. So, and I can give you assurance that issue of debate is not what we want, and I can still maintain my positions that President Muhammadu Buhari is one of the best presidents that Nigeria ever have.
Mr. Etok also said that the forum you talked about that he attended, that if you look at the feedback on that, they were not complimentary. They didn't score him high. That's what he says.
Sorry?
Mr. Etok here is also of the opinion that even the one you say the president spoke on, he says if you look through the comments there, he says most of those who were commenting didn't thumb up the president.
But I think president has responded to almost all the comments and the cautions was asked when he's at the media chat at the town hall meeting. And I believe a lot of cautions that raised there, president responded to them and supported by his vice president, Yemi Osibanjo. And I believe the cautions has answered to the satisfactions of Nigerians. So I didn't think there is any point that will raise alert that the president has not responded to most of the questions or he shined away from them. Yeah.
Has the president attended any forum on any platform together with some other presidential candidates to compare notes in terms of the policies, the ideas, or what they want to do? Has he?
Yeah. President has been, there is no any forum like that at least even they requested the president or president to come and have an interactive sessions or something like that with the other presidential aspirants. And I think the best one is the one that president has done, to interact and to give room for Nigerians to ask questions where they feel they are not comfortable. And I believe president has given their avenue and the answer has been there to their satisfaction.
I think it's a slight on the Nigerian people that the president refused to match up with other presidential candidates one-on-one. Don't you think it's a slight, like the president is calling the bluff of the Nigerian electorate that, look, I'm not going to show up at this place with all these people, you know, I'm going to be the next president, and I will only debate or come and address you the way I want. I'm not going to debate. Don't you think it's a slight? Don't you think Nigerians can feel insulted by that?
No. I tell you that the president is the president that is on ground, and he has done a lot of things for the country, and Nigerians so much believe and they are confident with what the government is doing at this time. And believe me, it's not only debate that is an avenue for Nigerians to meet up with their president. Campaign is taking place everywhere in the country, and president has been available in almost all the campaigns. The table is there, and he's following it step by step.